We are starting the second section of our unit on economics, which focuses on basic economic concepts. You all should have notes. For each slide, you should be writing down the key terms and their meaning, the key or main topic of each slide, the answers to any questions on the slides, and you should be drawing how you visualize the title words in the slide. So this means that at the top of each slide, there's a couple of words. Draw what first comes to your mind. I'm not looking for you to be a perfect artist. Just draw whatever comes to your head. If you need to pause to write down any of the material, feel free to do so. All right, let's get started. So, the basics of economics starts with, first, of course, the fundamental economic problem, which is scarcity. Then we move on to goods, services, and consumers. In economics, we're not concerned with intangible products, but only those economic products. So these are the goods and services that are useful, scarce, and transferable. Transferable means they can be given from one person to another. They can be held in your hand. Remember, all of these things are scarce, and depending on the level of scarcity, they will differ in price and demand. Think of the activity we did on Monday. The ruler, there was only one ruler, so it was high in demand, whereas paper clips, there were a lot of them. They were low in scarcity, so they were low in demand. There are three types of economic products. Those are goods, services, and consumers. The key points to write down in this slide are economic products, and that scarcity will cause a difference in price and demand. Goods. Goods are items that are useful or satisfy a want or need. So they either satisfy a need or want of a consumer or business. They have a purpose. Goods targeted towards consumers are called consumer goods, and goods that are used to produce other goods and services are called capital goods, because as we know, capital means the tools used in production. Key points to write down for this slide are that goods are useful or satisfy a want or need, and that goods targeted toward consumers are consumer goods, and goods used to produce other goods or services are capital goods. Moving on. Services. Services are the labor that someone performs. So, this is intangible, meaning you can't touch it, you can't hold it, and you can't pass it from person to person. So the work that I do as a teacher, I can't give to my child. The work that a lawyer does, he can't give to his mother, sister. This means it's intangible. Key things to write down for this slide is that service is labor, and that is intangible. Moving on. Consumers. This is you, me, and anyone who uses the good or service. We often think of consuming or consumption as eating, but for these purposes, it simply means using the good or service. So right now, I'm using my computer, so I am consuming it. What are some examples from your daily life? We consume things daily. What are some examples from your daily life? Moving on. Now that we have the three economic products or goods, we're going to move on to some characteristics of them, which are value, utility, and wealth. These are basic concepts of goods and services. They interact and impact each other in the economy, meaning they have a relationship. When one changes, so does the other, and so on. Value is the worth of the good or service. Utility is how useful the good or service is in satisfying the want or needs. Wealth is the accumulation or gathering of goods that are high in value and utility. Key things to write down for this slide are that value, utility, and wealth interact and impact each other in the economy, and the definitions of value, utility, and wealth. Moving on. Value, the paradox of value. Value is the worth of a good or service which we express in its dollar amount, how much it costs in dollars. There's long been a paradox, which means it's kind of confusing or it doesn't make sense, between items that we need, necessities, and things we don't need, non-necessities. I'll explain. So think, what are some basic necessities and how much do they cost? For our purposes, we'll use water. Water costs about $1. What are some non-necessities? Think about fancy things like diamonds. How much do they cost? Upwards of $1,000. The non-necessity cost more than the necessity. And why is this? This is because of scarcity. Scarcity influences the value. The less of something, the more valued it will become, or how more it will cost. Key things to write down for this slide are that value is the dollar amount, and there is a confusing relationship between necessities and non-necessities. Non-necessities cost more or are more valuable because of scarcity. Moving on. Utility. Utility is how useful a good or service is in satisfying a want or need. So how good is it at satisfying the purpose it was being used for? Think of a computer, the utility of a computer. Is it the same for a person who has Wi-Fi or a person who doesn't have Wi-Fi? A person with technological skills or a person who's never used a computer before? The answer is no, it's not the same. A person with Wi-Fi can use the internet and access all of that information. A person without Wi-Fi can only use the basic functions of a computer. A person who has technological skills may be able to use the computer for graphic design, whereas someone who doesn't won't be able to do that. This means that utility varies from person to person, and it can't be measured because it's based on the individual's purpose and characteristics. For something to have value, it must be scarce. So think of our example of water versus diamonds. Water has utility, but it is not scarce. Diamonds have utility and are also scarce, so they have a higher value. Key things to write down for this slide are: utility is how useful a good or service is. It varies from person to person, and for something to have value, it must be scarce and have utility. Moving on to our last slide. Wealth. Wealth is the accumulation of goods, not services. This is because goods need to be able to be passed on from generation to generation. As I said earlier, I can't pass on teaching to my children, but I can pass on gold, silver, or diamonds. What do you think are some examples of goods that would lead to wealth? Please answer the question in your notes. Key things to write down for this slide are that wealth is the accumulation of goods. All right, once you have completed all of your notes, which I will be checking and will go in as a grade, I am looking for each slides, you have the key terms, main topic, answers to any questions, and a drawing of what comes to your mind when you read the title of the slide. Once you've completed all of those things, you can move on to our break, which will be watching a clip from Shark Tank.
Next up is a cleaning solution for those hard-to-reach parts.
Hello, Sharks. I'm Justin Koenigke.
And I'm Seth Friedman, and we are the creators of Bottle Bright. We're here today seeking $75,000 in exchange for 15% of our company.
Sharks. There are all kinds of portable drinking containers that make our lives easier. The problem is they develop stains and odors easily, and the typical methods for cleaning them just don't work well. Dishwashers can't spray into narrow openings, and many drinking containers aren't dishwasher safe. Chlorine, bleach, and other harsh chemicals are toxic and dangerous.
We were frustrated by the lack of suitable methods to clean our portable drinkware. We were looking for a solution that was easy to use, safe, and effective. That's why we created Bottle Bright.
Bottle Bright is an effervescent cleaning tablet that is amazing at removing stains and odors from portable drinkware. And it's so easy to use. Simply fill your bottle with water, drop in a Bottle Bright tablet, and let it go to work. Then discard the solution, give it a quick rinse, and your bottle is fresh and clean.
Sharks, we are committed to making Bottle Bright a household name. We need your expertise in getting our unique product into the hands of consumers. So, who would like to join us in solving the dirty bottle dilemma?
Let me pass out some samples for you to look at.
It's like Efferdent for your bottle.
I think the biggest difference between it and something like Efferdent is this is an all-natural product.
What's in that tablet?
They're all natural ingredients, but they're all mineral-based or organic-based.
Does it have any odor when afterwards?
Absolutely no odor or residual smell.
Guys, I'm going to bet that you have very little sales because nobody gives a damn.
I think a lot of people give a damn, but we have very little sales. So half the comment is correct.
What are your sales? What are your sales?
Last year we did 110,000. This year we're at 85,000.
Well, that's not no sales.
Seth, how long have you been doing it?
We started 3 years ago. We have private label customers. We're dealing with two very large companies that we're now private labeling this same formula for.
I just want to be clear. When you private label it, there's no brand for you. They're simply using it as part of their product. So I go to them, I buy the product, you come along with it. Is that right?
Yeah, we manufacture for them. It's under their brand.
And I bet you're making hundreds of dollars doing that.
Well, why don't we talk about
The
what
product
does
has
the
great
product
margins.
cost?
Yes.
Yeah,
What
the
does it
cost.
cost and what do you sell it
So
for?
we build the 10-pack pouch right there for 79 cents. We wholesale it for $2.99 to retail, and then they sell it for $5.99.
What's the rest of your story? Like, why did you come up with this?
Sure. So we're mountain bikers, and we finished a day of mountain biking. We use hydration packs, much like you see there with the hose. And I finished that ride that day, pulled up to the trailhead and said to Justin, this thing tastes disgusting because they're impossible to clean. So we had that issue. I said to Justin, I'm leading a healthy lifestyle and I'm dumping bleach in here. And it now tastes like a swimming pool and I'm killing myself. Let's come up with an all-natural solution.
So just to go back, you did 110,000 in sales, private label to two companies.
Yes.
Did you make any money on that?
We did not. We had a rough 2013, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay. What does that mean?
We had a $100,000 loss that year.
Whoa! Last year, about July 2013, we did a large run for one of our private label companies, and we were trying to push the boundaries of ecological packaging. They wanted a film that was biodegradable. We sent them a large amount of product, and there was moisture vapor that was starting to penetrate through the product and degrade the tablets.
So you did a recall.
We
You took
replaced
it.
it. We took it back.
We thought it would be best to take the entire thing
And you
back.
lost
to do it.
100,000 on that.
Painful year.
You're very lucky you've met me today. I'm going to tell you why. I'm also a cleaner. I'm the wonderful cleaner. I clean really bad ideas. right out of the Shark Tank. And this falls into that category. You spent over 3 years doing this. It's still not profitable. And yet you claim you're entrepreneurs. At some point, a successful entrepreneur knows they have a loser, and they shoot it.
Kevin, I sense you're going to make an offer.
I'm going to give you an offer to think it through, leave here, and shoot it. By the way, I'm out.
Seth, here's my challenge with it. Look, you haven't proven any demand. I think anybody that truly cares enough about cleaning their water bottle already has an option. You're doing it better potentially, but that is going to be a real challenge to get that consumer to care that much more.
When you're spending $40,
I don't see the direction.
I understand.
I'm out.
What is your plan to do with the $75,000? Why do you need it?
$75,000 we feel is helpful for administration.
To me, the worst waste of money is for it to go to administration when you've got two people that should be real firecrackers out there, burning the midnight oil, working morning, noon, and night to make it happen.
If you were to invest with us, I'd be completely open-minded to any idea you had and what we should do with that money.
There's a larger issue here that is very disturbing to me. I think you created enormous mistrust in my mind when you said you lost $100,000 in year 3. Nothing's wrong with losing $100,000 in year 1, but then everybody likes to see sales start to get some traction and go up. I'm out.
I appreciate that.
You had a great idea, right? You turned it into what looks like a good product. But what you don't have is a company. And what's even worse is you come across as being desperate, right? Everything that you've said is like you're drowning and you're trying to push for a lifeline.
Just to be clear, it's not desperation, it's passion. We have passion for
I
this
can tell
product.
the difference. And when I sense desperation, that's a huge negative. I don't invest in desperation. For that reason, I'm out.
I don't agree with a lot of the comments that have been made up here. I think that this is a solution to a big problem, so I'm going to make you an offer.
Are you kidding?
I have a big initiative with Bed Bath & Beyond right now, and I can help you a great deal with that and with many other retailers to get in. So here's my offer. I'm going to offer you the $75,000, but I want 35%, and a condition that the money will go towards funding all the purchase orders. I don't want it to go to admin, and I know I have direct targets for us to get this in retail, and on QVC, this will help to give yourself free advertising so people know what the product is when they walk into Bed Bath & Beyond and they see it. So that's my offer.
Thank you. Appreciate the offer.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it very much.
Would you be willing to do 25%?
Are you kidding?
I would be willing to do 33 1/3. Final offer.
Sounds good, Lori.
You got yourself a deal.
You got yourself a deal.
Awesome.
She believed in the
I
product.
have seen all the containers that
Yes,
people are
yes.
crying about.
There's a lot of them out there.
QVC sells hundreds of thousands of these. We're going to clean a lot of
We are going to do great business.
Thank you. Very good to meet you all.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys.
You get on that carpet and it's your big moment, and then all of a sudden Kevin looks at you and he says, "This is a piece of crap."
Lori, it's okay. You're going to make some mistakes. This was one of them.
At this point, you guys, at this point, all of you should go back and get your section 2 work. It's the same format as section 1, so you're going to have a reading on section 2, a graphic organizer, and assessment questions, as well as vocab. You should work on it in the same order as you did previously, starting your vocab first, then your graphic organizer, and lastly, answering the questions. Good luck.